Hey, what's up guys? It's Scarce here. Now, first story for today comes from Logan Paul. So for those of you who don't know, Logan Paul had a host on his podcast known as George Janko. And we've actually shown clips of him on our videos before where he was involved in the whole drama with CoffeeZilla and he was talking to Logan about it on his podcast. And George himself was a pretty integral part of Logan's podcast for a long time. Well, recently it looks like George either left the podcast or he was kicked because out of nowhere, both Logan and Mike unfollowed him on Instagram and they took him out of the banner on their YouTube page from the podcast. So people were asking, what's going on here? George was a big part of the show. Is he out of the podcast? Well, it looks like George himself has not been filling the show for a while now. And actually, a couple months ago, Logan Paul was in a lot of controversy because he had attacked George's own faith on their show. Okay, so he was attacking George's religious beliefs, and people got very upset with Logan for this.
Now, can you give an example of
one that really hurt me? Is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus.
No,
that one hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you, which is true.
No, you didn't. I don't want to stand down. No, you didn't.
So many viewers felt like Logan had been disrespecting George here. Now, there have been other incidents on the podcast where George has just straight up walked off, and it looks like George has just not been filling the show very much over the past few months. There's also been videos posted about this whole situation and what's happening right now with George and the show. Well, right now, the full story of the situation has not been revealed yet, but it looks like George has, in fact, parted ways with the show. And even just recently, it looked like Logan had been bad-mouthing George and his own podcast.
We love you guys. We love you guys. Seriously, without you, this would be nothing. I didn't know we were doing this right now.
I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I love this outlet. I love this outlet, and it exists because people watch. And without people watching, I just have a show like. So good news also. Prime is launching in Denmark and Norway on June 7th.
So a lot of fans on Logan's podcast got upset with him for this comment, and George himself has actually seen this clip now, and he tweeted out just a few days ago saying, "To the impulsive fans, I'm so sorry I can't speak about things. It's not my choice. I do love you guys, and for those of you sending me the clip of them talking shit, it's all love. I've already moved on from that toxic environment." So we're definitely going to keep monitoring this story because it looks like Logan might have done something really bad here, or George thinks he did something really bad, and also George just can't speak on this right now, apparently. And the next story for today comes from the creator and kick streamer known as Johnny Somali. Now, Johnny Somali traveled to Japan, and he's been streaming himself in Japan, and he has made multiple derogatory and racist remarks towards the Japanese locals on his stream. And one of the things that he brought up towards a local on the subway was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He was saying this in a derogatory way, and after he said this, you could tell the guy was getting frustrated. So another person who's from America who can speak English confronted him, and this almost turned into a really bad altercation on his stream.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We're gonna do again. What? Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We do again. You understand? You don't know. You know history. What? You know. What? What do you mean? Where are you from? You know where I'm from?
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
You're from America?
Yes.
So am I.
You're from America?
Yeah, you're being obnoxious.
You know what we do to you?
What do you do?
We will do again.
Do what?
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You understand?
Do you think I'm Japanese?
Where are you from?
I'm from America.
Where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
Texas, buddy.
What's your ethnicity?
I'm Korean.
Then sit down, brother.
Why don't you sit your ass?
Korean War, you know what happened to you. You know what we did to your country too. Are you North Korean? South Korean?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Just why not be a good? You're from America.
Why don't you sit down?
Why don't you be a good representative?
Why don't you
of
sit
America?
down?
Like you don't make Americans look
I
good.
don't give a fuck about America.
You're from America.
I give a fuck about my money. So sit down, motherfucker.
So this guy has garnered a really bad reputation in Japan. And just a few days ago, while he was streaming, a local walked up to him and slapped him on the street because they were very upset with him for what he's been saying on his stream.
It's good to know people in Japan. Let's be respectful. You know what I mean? I hope nobody in the chat was saying weird shit. If I go back and what the fuck? Chill out. Yo, chill out. Stop. Stop. Oh, yeah. Hey, relax. Relax. Nothing, no problem. Yo, what the fuck is going on?
So obviously violence is never the answer, but there are people that are very upset with this guy right now because they feel like he's traveled to a different country, and instead of respecting the people there, they feel like he's making these derogatory remarks just for some extra viewers on his stream. Now our next story for today comes from an organization we've been talking about in every one of our videos. It just seems like they're constantly involved in controversy. This is FaZe Clan. Well, FaZe recently just had some really big controversy with a person known as Grace Van Dien. Now you might remember who Grace was from the show Stranger Things. She had an appearance in that, and it looks like some of the corporate higher-ups at FaZe thought it would be a good idea to recruit Grace to the organization, okay? Now this sounded like she was going to be under a paid contract, and for those of you who don't know, some of the original FaZe leaders, FaZe Rain, FaZe Banks, all of the top guys at FaZe have been calling out the team recently. They've been very upset by some of the corporate guys at the top. So Rain was really upset when he heard that Grace was joining because he knows that FaZe is bleeding money already, and he's actually shown FaZe's numbers. And from the numbers that Rain shows here, FaZe is operating at a pretty big loss right now, okay? And it looks like FaZe as an organization is going to be bankrupt in the future if they can't figure something out. Now keep in mind, these numbers are monthly, so this definitely adds up, and FaZe operated at a huge loss last year, and now it looks like they're going to have a pretty bad year again. And this is why, like, the whole team is in dire need of help. And Rain himself is very upset that they are, paying for these new recruits when he doesn't think they can afford any of this. And even recently, Rain got into controversy with another very well-respected and huge creator, Nick Merckx, and he was upset with Nick Merckx because Nick is getting paid $1 million a year for being in FaZe. So Rain is obviously pretty frustrated that FaZe is giving all this money to their new recruits when he feels like they aren't actually contributing that much to the team. And after this happened, when Grace was streaming, she told Rain to get wrecked on her stream, okay? And this made Rain really upset with her, and he went off on her on a rant. And he made a comment about her that got a lot of people upset.
Get fucking wrecked. To everyone saying that.
Their Phoenix makes
Rain.
Holy! She shit on me. Back to the wheelchair I go. I gotta watch it again.
So, get fucking wrecked.
Oh my God. I just can't compete with that, man. I can't. She roasted me. It's over. Grace, I'm sorry. All I want to say is you're gold in Valorant. You make Stranger Things your entire personality, even though you're only on one episode. You found out about Twitch through Tumblr. Not only have you not hit a trick shot, but you don't even know what the fuck that is. When you were still playing with Barbies, I made my first $1 million out of this industry. And on top of it, you're excruciatingly mid who I would never let touch me on my drunkest night.
So people were outraged with Rain over saying this, but then Grace made a comment about Rain that got people even more upset, and out of nowhere, she brought up Rain almost ODing. This is absolutely insane.
He says that I don't even know what a trick shot is. You're right, I don't. And I know that that's kind of what you're known for, but I know you, Rain, as the person who almost overdosed on a live stream. And I know that you're better now, and I'm really proud of you for that. I am.
So these clips completely blew up on social media, and there's been mixed opinions on both sides. Obviously, people are very upset with this whole thing, and Rain and Grace eventually tried to reconcile, and it looks like they actually were getting along pretty well, but they met up in real life, and towards the end of the meeting, Grace ended up out of nowhere going into tears. She was very upset with Rain. Just watch this.
So then how's this hurting your feelings? If I called you mid, you should be like, fuck him. Who cares what I say? And if you bring up my drug past, are you getting emotional?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just speaking the truth. I don't want you to get emotional.
I don't like you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just being very logical. I understand how you feel, but you brought things up against me. How do you expect me to react?
I think you're a terrible person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's pulling the acting shit out now. Because I said that
Pulling the acting shit out now?
How am I a terrible person for what?
Pulling the acting shit out now.
How am I a terrible person? Explain.
I don't owe you an explanation, actually.
And I owe you an explanation.
Macho, tell Vera that I'm not doing this video, and if they release anything, then I'm leaving, please.
So there are opinions all over the place on the situation. I see a ton of people siding with Rain. I see people siding with Grace. I also see people saying this is not anyone's fault. It's the corporate guys at FaZe who are making these decisions that are causing the whole team to basically crumble, and it should be them who are getting all the heat right now. It shouldn't be Grace. She should not be a target. And they tweet out saying, FaZe is no stranger to contrasting viewpoints and passionate opinions on the future of the brand. Recruitment has always drawn that out. But make no mistake, the mistreatment of our newest member is in no way okay. Grace joined joined in hopes to bring her voice to FaZe, and we stand by her. So they are standing by Grace here in the situation, and only a couple minutes later, Rain responded to this saying, "Ratio, shut your dumbass up, Seabass." So he thinks this is another FaZe member known as FaZe Seabass, and FaZe is just all over the place right now. I mean, there are incidents that we are seeing every single day, and it even looks like Grace herself has looked into leaving FaZe now. She's taken it out of her bio on Twitter, and she's privated her account. Now, our next story for today comes from MrBeast. So MrBeast tweeted this out. He says, "I want to test what I do on YouTube on a streaming service for fun to see how it performs. Imagine a 10-episode series with 10,000 people competing for the largest prize in game show history." So this is an interesting idea because we know MrBeast is a huge hit on YouTube. I mean, this guy makes more views than we've ever seen in YouTube history. And Jimmy himself has been looking at the numbers of other big shows, and he feels like these numbers are really low. And he thinks that he might be able to do something big on one of these streaming services where he makes some really quality content and just tries to get as many viewers as possible. And there are a ton of people on social media that are supporting this right now, and they want to see how well MrBeast would do if he was to have his own actual show on a big streaming service like Netflix. And the next topic for today's video comes from the creator known as Mizzy. Now, you might know Mizzy as there's a lot of YouTubers who have been talking about him. He is a prankster who posts a lot of videos on social media, and he has gotten a ton of backlash. And this is because his pranks go really far. I mean, he is breaking the law constantly in his pranks. And one of his pranks that was all over the news was him actually breaking into someone's house. Like, literally breaking into someone's house. Not a prank. I mean, this guy actually broke into their house, and they had kids there. I mean, it was an awful situation. And many people are just very upset with Mizzy, and he's actually gotten some serious news coverage over the past few weeks. He's literally everywhere. I mean, I see him all over the news and all the articles we look at. So he's getting all of this backlash, and he decided to finally make an apology video for this whole situation. And in this apology video, he says he made a dumb mistake and that a house is supposed to be a safe space. He also says here that Mizzy is not really Bakari. Bakari is himself, and Mizzy is a character he created for these prank videos. So he says these are not the same people and that they should be separate. Just watch this.
But I want you guys to know that I'm actually not this bad guy. Mizzy and Bakari are two different people, isn't it? Bakari is the mastermind behind Mizzy, and I know Mizzy has made some harsh decisions and harsh pranks. Like, not all my pranks are bad. Like, the media picks and chooses what pranks they want to put out there for people to have their own opinion on, and that's why all of this controversy started. That one video, I regret that video, innit? I don't really have regrets in my life. I live life in the moment. But that video should have never been posted or even done in the first place, innit? Like, kids in the yard, whatnot, whatever. But just the stress on the family and the cause of the video going so viral was not good. Like, I basically gained clout from a stupid thing, innit? And now that I have this platform and all eyes on me, I'm trying to do right now. And I'm trying to help all the young people, and I'm trying to help everybody, yeah? This is Bakari speaking, not even Mizzy. We need to differentiate the two people. Like, Mizzy's still going to be in effect in some sort of way, shape and form, like with the Twitch streams and the IRL and just doing different types of content. But I'm going to try to be giving back to the people, innit?
So Mizzy might be trying to really make a change for the better, and we might see his content change in the future. And our next story for today has to do with alternative platforms to YouTube and Twitch. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of platforms like Rumble or Kick, but for those of you who don't know, Rumble is kind of like an alternative to YouTube. There are a lot of YouTubers who are banned who are now on Rumble. There also are a lot of streamers who are banned who are now on Kick, and there's just people who aren't banned who are on these platforms as well. But it seems like these are two of the big competitors to YouTube and Twitch. And both of these platforms have been making some pretty big moves recently, especially Rumble. It looks like Rumble is picking up some very big streamers. And one of the top creators on Twitch, Mizkiff, actually said here that he is going to start streaming on Rumble.
Announcement is that basically I will be twice a week or for a few hours, and that's it. I will be your Pog Champs can be ready. I will be streaming on Rumble. Yes.
So Rumble's had some controversy in the past, and it looks like they're trying to clean up their image, and they're picking up different YouTubers and streamers right now. And it turns out the two of the top streamers, Kai Snat and iShowSpeed, are going to start making content on Rumble as well. And now it looks like there might be some kind of war going on between Rumble and Kick, and them being able to pick up the top streamers before the other one's able to get to them. And Kai even calls out Kick here when he was talking about making content for Rumble.
Yo, Kick, get back! Oh, never mind. That's crazy. I'm sorry, Kick. I'm sorry, Kick. Rumble up! You know what? You know what? Yo, Kick! If you wanted us, you could have had us! W Rumble! W Rumble!
So I've seen so many different creators from different communities moving on to Rumble and Kick. I've seen a lot of different streamers move on to Kick as of recently. And some of these people are the top creators in their communities. Like Bruce Dropomoff is huge on Twitch and he has moved over to Kick full time. Now our next story for today is very short, but this comes from YouTube. So I'm sure many of you guys know about this, but if you don't, YouTube is actually starting to roll out an experiment testing to see if they can start blocking ad blockers. So it would be very difficult for you to play a YouTube video and be able to block the ads anymore without YouTube Premium. And this has stirred up a lot of controversy between viewers because they feel like they should be able to do this if they want to. But recently in a shorts video on one of YouTube's official channels, someone who works at YouTube showed themselves using an ad blocker in the video. So obviously people are pretty upset with this because they feel like it's hypocritical, and since then the video has been privated. And the next story we have for you comes from the YouTuber known as Enderman. Now Enderman has over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and this guy makes videos where he reviews malware and he talks about Windows and experimenting with Windows, and these videos are supposed to be informative and they're supposed to help people with cybersecurity. And he's been dealing with issues on his channel all year where he's had videos getting taken down, and he is really upset right now because he thinks that YouTube is going to actually look into taking down his channel because he thinks that many of his videos could get targeted in the future. Just watch this.
YouTube seems to be after my channel, and it's not a joke. Normally, my channel should have been terminated a few days ago, as I received 3 community strikes in a span of 10 days. That is, if I weren't successful in my dispute against the false trusted installer strike 2 years ago. This is practically the only reason my channel still exists on this platform, and I'd like to talk about it in detail because Enderman is still in great danger and I don't know what to do at this point.
So after making this video where he talks about how he's going to get terminated, this video was also targeted as well. And he's obviously afraid here that he's going to lose his whole channel. And that's it for our video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you later. Peace.